While more people are going back to work, less people are expected to be shopping this holiday season. Thank you all for watching tonight. I'm Marlisa Goldsmith.
And I'm Craig O'Neill. It doesn't seem to add up, since you would think more people would be headed back to the stores now that they are making more money. But it all has to do with changes in the pandemic.
THV 11's Ashley Godwin tells us how this will affect Arkansans as they start buying gifts.
People, when they look at the pandemic, that there's an assumption, an automatic assumption that, well, we probably struggled financially as a state, and that's simply not the case.
Arkansas was one of the few states that came out on top during the pandemic, setting a record high of positive spending.
We closed out the last fiscal year, which ended June of this year, with about a $1 billion surplus.
Part of that is because of the pandemic help Americans received.
Stimulus certainly played a role in that.
Now that the extra COVID stimulus and assistance is gone, spending is headed to a more normal rate.
But at this point, the support from federal stimulus programs will be lacking, and so we'll have to see some leveling off of consumer spending as we move forward.
Dr. Michael Packo, the chief economist at the Arkansas Economic Development Institute, estimates spending will start going down, even though our unemployment has returned to pre-pandemic levels, around 3%.
It may seem that with more people working, we'd have more income, more spending, but the fact of the matter is that incomes have really been well supported by some of the pandemic relief and stimulus programs over the course of the past year and a half.
So without extra stimulus cash in the bank account, families will not spend as much. And for those that left their jobs during the pandemic, which has been coined as the Great Resignation, they may be seeing other opportunities, some even better than their former employment.
You see advertisements where people can walk in the door and be hired at $16 to start that day.
That demonstrates an optimism on the part of workers that there's perhaps a better job out there, a better match for my skills.
Governor Hutchinson is expected to call a special session before the year ends to cut taxes since Arkansas was in a budget surplus. In Little Rock, Ashley Godwin, THV 11 News.
Holiday shopping is still expected to bring in a lot of revenue, even with the changes to consumer trends during this stage of the pandemic.